Hello everyone, Eddie here again with another video, and this one I want to focus on the killing that happened this past weekend in Minneapolis of Alex Pretti. This one actually was one of those types of videos that I, as it was going on, I really did want to make a video to talk about it, but I kept grappling with it because I was, for lack of a better word, in a state of shock. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, and it it really bothered me. It really disturbed me that this young man lost his life while helping his fellow neighbors, his fellow citizen. So, before I get into it, I do want to touch on a few things that I just find really interesting. That I, I guess this session might be a little bit not so much I told you so, but like look at what aboutism. That's it. That's the word I want to look for. What about? What about? What about? So the very first thing I want to do is obviously this was a tragedy, and as if you watched the video, I'm sure just about everyone has watched the video. You can see how sad it is that he was shot and killed. My first question to anyone is that why is ICE wearing masks? I mean, why are they wearing masks if they're law enforcement? And the reason I say this is because I'm. It's not necessarily funny, but I'm just a little bit curious. Is that during the pandemic, there was such an anti-mask wearing rhetoric where people were saying you were invading their 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 um their body. It was their body, their choice. Everyone was trying to get out of wearing masks, and now that they're doing this enforcement, all of a sudden they need to wear masks. I'm I just I personally find it really interesting that no one is really calling them out on the fact that now they need to wear masks. Before, people were bucking the system. uh, I mean, I could ask what am I missing, but I think it has to do with more about who you're protecting if you're wearing a mask, whether or not you get pushback. So obviously, if you're protecting yourself, you want to wear a mask. But if it means protecting others, you don't want to wear it. Is anyone tracking with me? Agree, disagree? Please put it in the comments section. Love to hear it. The second thing, and this is the one that I'm really gonna need some assistance with. I'm really gonna need assistance with because again, it's tragic that Alex Pritt lost his life, and to hear the president, the border czar, and other officials say, "Well, why would you bring a peaceful? I mean, why would you bring a gun to a peaceful protest?" I was looking around, looking to the left, looking to the right, trying to figure out. So where are all the Second Amendment, you know, Bible fearing, toting gun enthusiasms who say you're not gonna interfere with my Second Amendment right? I'm allowed to bring a gun to a peaceful protest. Where are all those people? Because the response has been really timid. And again, I'm gonna have to ask. I'm really gonna ask, what am I missing? Because if this had been a, let's say, a school shooting, and people would say, well, we need to do some type of gun enforcement. Oh, I'm sure the Second Amendment people would have been out in full force saying, no, let's not rush to judgment. This was just a sick individual. So I just want to be clear so that everyone understands, so that we have the same basic facts. Alex, who lost his life, was a legal legal gun owner. The state he was in has both a carry and conceal laws on the book, so he was allowed legally to have the gun with him, whether it's at a peaceful protest or not. And when I say or not, I mean it didn't matter. If he went to the protest, he still was allowed to carry his gun. I don't understand where all the Second Amendment people are when the President of the United States saying, I don't like them bringing guns to protests. Did we also care about the January 6th people? Because as I seem to recall, he wanted to let them get around the magnetometers so that they could bring their weapons and hurt police officers. So please, someone tell me that I'm daydreaming, or I'm tripping, or I'm just not. It's not really that way, the way I'm thinking it is, because the response has been quite timid. I don't hear those Second Amendment nuts coming out, and I shouldn't call you guys nuts. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I just got caught up in the moment. But the Second Amendment hardcore people who normally defend it, I don't see you defending it as with great zeal when it's your party that's actually the ones trying to clamp down on you being able to carry a gun. And again, I have to ask, am I missing something? Or is it that, you only care about the Second Amendment if it's owning the libs or making the libs cry, or, trolling the libs? Is that what we're doing? I I don't understand. I really don't understand this one. So again, please leave some comments. Love to hear what your thoughts are about that. Now, on to Alex. As I kept watching the video, the first thing I noticed was that he was actually being like a very good Samaritan. He was trying to help direct the traffic, and he was assisting with the two ladies that ICE was throwing down. And seriously, doesn't that make any it doesn't necessarily have to be that it was a woman or women that were being thrown down, but just doesn't it make you kind of angry at the fact that they mistreat our fellow citizens, whether they're males or females? I mean, what happened to, law enforcement, like your typical policeman is to serve and protect. I don't see any service going on with ICE, and I don't see any protect. And I don't. I will be the first to admit, and I could be wrong, but because I'm not good in geography, and that's something that I will try to work on. But I don't think Minneapolis is near a border. So what is ICE doing in there anyway? Which brings me to the next thing. So in order to get ICE out of the city, Pam Bondi sent Governor Walz a letter and basically wants voter rolls. And there lies in the problem. Because now we know what the end game is. Now we know what they're after. They want the voting rolls so that they can intimidate and suppress the vote. Because unless you are that small, I guess 34% that's ride or die with the president, that the president can do no wrong, you probably don't like what you're seeing, and therefore, more than likely, you're going to vote a lot of these people out of office. And so, to stop the big blue wave that is going to come, they need to cheat. And that is something that I always struggle with. I just never understood why we necessarily need gerrymander, and I get it. it happens on both sides, but I really don't understand why we need to have gerrymander. Literally, we want our representatives to represent us and to be concerned with us, and we pick them. When you're letting them gerrymander, they're picking who their voters are so that they can have safe seats. And that's not how it should work. Back to Alex, I guess part of the reason why I didn't want to do the video, I mean, I did want to do a video, but I didn't. To me, just like looking at him with stereotypes in the back of my head, he looked like one of the podcaster bros or one of the conservatives. And then as I found more and more information about him, about how, and I don't know whether or not he was a conservative or not, but find out that he was an ICU nurse and that he performed last rites to a veteran. I I knew right then and there that this was a very special person in that he had a kind heart and he was helping service people, because not only was he a nurse, but he worked for the federal government as a VA. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know how I feel about federal employees. They're doing a service to help their fellow Americans, whatever roles they may be. And what got me is that people like that, you really hate to see them gone, just because I kind of think the world will be a sadder place without them, because they really did have their fellow man best interest in heart, or at least tried to help them. And so I guess what really bothered me is that looking at it and looking at how those people were getting hurt, I could truly see myself trying to help someone. I mean, I just feel like it's the human thing to do, to help your fellow man when they're in distress. And they killed him. And is that the whole point? So that if if some of us are ever in that situation, we'll hesitate and not help our fellow citizen because of fear of losing our life. They are literally trying to intimidate Americans. And for that, I really don't understand why any Republican should maintain their seat come the midterm elections. I just don't understand. I if you're a constituent and your representatives is not voicing your concerns, or at least having some type of interaction with you, why would you reward them and send them back to a job that pays them a very good salary? They have health care. They get lots of days off while the rest of us are working and struggling. And it's not to say that they're not doing it, but that is a privileged job they have, because not only are they set with good benefits and guarantees, but it's a privilege to work for constituents. Let me say that again. It's a privilege for them to work for us, because we actually get to elect them. And if they're just going to sit idly by and not do anything, and to just sit and watch as our fellow Americans are losing their lives, why would we reward them sending them back to Washington? Because make no mistake about it, they can afford eggs. They're not worried about their health care. They're not worried about getting their check. You would think they would at least show empathy towards the rest of us. I just really do feel bad for Alex and his family. I, I know his family is mourning, and I really do feel bad for him. I feel bad for all the people that are losing their lives to ice. And I just, the optimist in me really wants to believe. I mean, I really want to believe that my fellow Americans will see the writing on the wall and will course correct and get these people out of here and come to some type of sensible solution, because this isn't working. People should not be losing their lives for their First Amendment and their Second Amendment right. A person should not lose their life. Rest in peace, Alex. You will be remembered. And with that, these are just my opinions. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. And once again, I love you all. If you keep watching these videos, I'll keep making them. Thank you so very much.